Nothing actually makes you feel angry, sad, love, or peace. It really is just a reminder of what's in you, meaning whatever is within you will come out based on what you're focused on. So once you understand this, once you realize that you actually are love, you are peace, you are spirit, your life will change forever. In this video, I teach a lesson with my actual teacher trainees on this exact topic.
So I was having a chat with one of the guys actually from the community. He just watches the videos. There's a lot of guys in the community, as you're probably aware, that don't actually come to lives. They just watch the videos. They're more into just watching things at their own pace. And then they'll message me every so often and ask questions and so on and so forth. Anyway, this gentleman was talking about, long story short, he was seeing how, the meditation's actually scary to him. Because when he goes into that kind of silence, he's used his mind so much to actually beat life to his will, to get what he wants. And what came from the conversation was when we started talking about spiritual intention. And the reason this is important is because this is an unlock for all of us. All of us want to manifest our internal power, right? Step into that sense of peace. And if we can grasp this one concept, it's going to expedite everything. Anyway, he was saying how when he steps into his spiritual intention, he thinks of his grandson. And when he thinks of his grandson, he feels this sense of unconditional love. But only when he thinks of him, he feels the unconditional love. And this is an important one because I see it all the time. And when you grasp what I'm trying to say here, it's going to shift something for you if you can really grasp it. So I'll tell you another story. I was at Fitness First when I first came back, and a few of you have heard this one before. It's a pretty simple story. I started working there just to get back into their kind of environment, to make some networks, to hang out with my mum, because my mum worked there. And there was this lady, I was at reception, and there's 2 lifts over to my right, elevators. And she's hitting the buttons, and she's getting angry and angrier because the lift's not coming. And she comes over to me as, "This lift makes me so angry," right? And, I kind of smiled at her, and I was just like, yeah, I know what you mean. And that's exactly the case in multiple directions, meaning she believed that the lift was making her angry, right? And we're all pretty aware that the lift actually has no power over her. She's given her power because she thinks the lift makes her angry. Now, think about the guy I was speaking to yesterday. He said, when I think of my grandson, I feel a sense of unconditional love. So my grandson makes me feel unconditional love. But the thing is that this is the same equation. The grandson makes me feel unconditional love. The lift makes me feel angry. So the problem is that the power has been put outside of oneself. So in my discussion with this lovely friend of ours from the community, I tried to point him towards that his grandson doesn't make him feel unconditional love. His grandson reminds him that he is unconditional love. So when you think of your spirit, and I want you guys to really ponder on this one, when you bring your spiritual intention into your mind and you start to feel that upliftment, that good feeling quality, it's not that image or that person or that place or that event is making you feel that way. It's reminding you of your inner condition, of what you are. The spiritual intention is about using the mind to remember your spiritual origin, your spirit. And as you attune to that, it feels good, right? You're like, oh, this feels great. I feel a lovingness. This is wonderful. It feels good to be what you are. It feels good to align with your nature. It feels good because it is you. So, I am life, I am love, I am spirit, I am free, I am prosperous, I am courage. You are those fields of consciousness. Now, when you can grasp that, then you can just stop being a fuckwit, simply put, and thinking about stupid shit that feels stupid. I mean, to be blunt, we think, oh yeah, it's because of this weather and my boss that I feel bad. No, dickhead. It's because you're thinking like a dickhead that you feel that way. Sorry to be so abrupt, but it's just true. How can I directly say this to you? Your point of focus is what brings out the feeling quality in you and attracts the life around you that you start to manifest. We are literally infinite, literally. You can imagine whatever you want. Think about it. You can literally imagine whatever you want, anything. There's an infinite potential of anything you can bring to your mind. So, okay, that leads us to understand that, okay, I have a sense of infiniteness about me, a sense of unlimitedness. And as you remember that it's not what you focus on that makes you feel a certain way, it's that you are that way inside. So yes, the lady who was looking at the lift, it was bringing up the anger in her that needed to be resolved. And yes, our friend who was thinking about his grandson, was potentiating that unconditional love, but realizing that's what's within him. So, the key detail here that I'm trying to get you guys to kind of be aware of is that when you focus on your spiritual intention, it's not that anything's making you feel a certain way. It's alignment with your own nature. And if you can start to grasp that and go, oh, I am peace, I am love, and observe the blockages as they arise and release them, it just becomes a lot easier, because it's not something you're trying to force upon yourself or something you're trying to make. It's a remembering of what you are. And it's so much easier to stay in flow when it just is. See what I'm getting at here? So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because it's a key detail which sometimes we miss, and I hear it often in conversations, in observations, in discussions, the simple sentence of, it makes me feel. Nothing's making you feel anything. It's you, it's us, it's you within yourself, where you place your point of focus, you give your God-given energy, you give the vitality to increase the vibration of that field and connect you to that field of consciousness. And as you let go of those blocks, release those, let's say, negativities, and realign with your deeper sense of self, this feels really good. I'm enjoying this feeling. Oh, this is nice. Yes, it feels nice to be what you are and not grind up against what you're not. So I just wanted to bring that to our attention so that you can start to attune to that as you do your state trainings, as you do your meditations, as you go about your daily life, catching yourself out, going, I'm focusing on that. It's my fault that I feel that way. It's not my boss's fault. It's not the weather's fault. It's not my grandma's fault. It's not the way my dad brought me up's fault. It's not my haircut's fault. It's not my mum, my sister, my uncle, the environment, the government, the flavor of these tacos. It's no one's fault. You know what I mean? It's how you use the source energy within you. It's how you use that God power within you, right? So to make it simple, to make it very simple, it's a remembering of that which you are, as opposed to a making you feel that way. And my suggestion is to make that a primary. That's why spiritual intention's first. Whatever your spiritual intention is, it's an upward direction in consciousness towards your nature. So making that the primary, meaning the primary thing is that I'm going to stay in alignment. The primary thing is I'm going to remember that I am spirit, I am infinite, I am source. Remembering that will make everything easier, I promise you. Everything else will come with a sense of ease and flow. The blockages that need to be released will come and be released. But it's about shifting the paradigm from I am a victim of circumstance in either a positive or negative direction to I am a creator of my experience via my point of attention and intention. Simple. So that is all off my soapbox today. Questions, discussion points, observations, team?
Good, that was awesome. I do have a question. So I'm noticing, like, I'm listening to a lot of different frequency hertz stuff, help me, sleep and stuff like that. And I've been noticing a lot of I never had lucid dreams. I'm lucid dreams now, and I'm sure it's a lot of the meditation and the stuff. And I've had other stuff that I've shared before in other experiences, and I'll continue to do that. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed, but it is what it is. Call it what you want. But as I forward and other things and talking with other folks, there's an element of history, respect to those moments, and there's there's an element of future stuff, clairvoyant stuff. So I'm just curious what your take is on all that and how to approach that stuff when it approaches you, right?
Sure. So there's a few pieces there. You had like lucid dreams, you had things from the past, and you had things in the future. So to answer the lucid dream thing, yes, the more you start to become aware and start to observe yourself, the more you'll have lucid dreams, meaning you're becoming more conscious in that dimension. In your mental and emotional dimension, you're becoming more conscious, you know, because you're training yourself to be more conscious. Generally, it becomes a habit. So you notice things more. You know, I noticed that started to happen to me as well as I started to practice this more. Like in my dreams, I would notice, oh, wait a second, the shadow of that isn't correct, meaning the sun's over there, but the shadow's going that way, which made me wake up in the dream, you know? And then when you wake up in the dream, you have more conscious control there. So yeah, that's normal. How do you manage it? Just observe, go with it. There's nothing, I mean, there's nothing really to manage or control. I mean, you just go with it and learn from the experience, I'd say. So sounds like you're going in a good direction, brother. Doesn't seem like a problem to me. Good. You know, one last point on the whole remembering that you are the spirit of the spiritual intention. So the mind, the intention, focusing on the spiritual, the spirit. You know, my favorite teacher, Christ, he said, the kingdom of heavens is within you, right? The kingdom of heaven. And you'll see a lot of his pictures, he's actually like pointing to his heart. And what it feels like to me, if I had to give it an experiential kind of description, it feels like, you know, as I go about life from the place of my spiritual intention, it feels like I'm seeing and experiencing life from my heart center more than from my eyes and my head. It feels like a sense of flow, of connection, of joy, and things become more beautiful because you no longer are analyzing and judging, you're more experiencing things from a place of connection. Interestingly, the origins of Sil Nim Tao, of the Nim is heart-based, because in ancient or in older Chinese history, they believed that thoughts came from the heart. So the Nim was originally linked to the heart, which is quite interesting and fascinating. And if you think about what we do in Sil Nim Tao, we get a sense through the whole center, which awakens that head-heart connection, or the heart-mind connection, you could call it. So, you know, as the kingdom of heavens is within, you know, and you start to experience life from your spiritual intention, you no longer become, like, let's say, easily offended or reactionary to the things around you. Things are more governed via your own point of focus, which is the spiritual intention. So, you know, I'm hammering home on this one because I see people continually coming back to the kind of, I'm a victim of, or this makes me feel. And it's, you know, it's a level of understanding, but it's not where you want to be resting at. Meaning, even if you say, you know, the sun makes me feel happy, the problem there is that you still can go the other way, because you're still saying it's the sun that makes you feel. No, the sun reminds you that within you, you have a sense of lightness, a sense of love. Your grandson or your loved ones remind you that the love is within you. Because think about it, where do you experience the lovingness when you see them? Within you. It's there. It's reminding you that it's there. So that's what I'm getting at here, guys. If you can start to play around with that more so, especially in your state trainings and even in your daily life, it's gonna accelerate the flow of energy through your system, because you're increasing the quality of consciousness that flows through you, and will give you opportunities to let go of the blocks. So a cheeky side note on that, yes, as you do start to take ownership and you do start to feel good within yourself and you start to see life through the heart as opposed to through judgment of the eyes and the mind, then you will notice blockages come up. Yeah, but I'm not that way. Yeah, oh, no, that doesn't work for me. Oh, no, I can't achieve anything. So you will see the blockages arise, but that's where you apply what we've been training. Sinking, surrender, and letting go. Good. Any other observations, questions, or discussion points, team?
I've got one.
Yes, sir.
When we speak about highest intention, what's, if I may put it like that, recommendable? To change our highest intention, or to keep one as our default highest intention?
It's a good question.
Or it's individual, so.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I've played around with all of them. So, it's individual, having one and changing, it's fine. Because what I've realized is that, because I've worked with people in this for a long time, is that no matter what they're changing it to, whether they're going from courage to acceptance, to love, to freedom, to expansion, to prosperity, back to courage, it's always upward. And sometimes you may need a bit more courage than you need peace. And sometimes you may need to feel angry, as long as it's upward, right? So it's, having a set direction kind of is like having a macro intention, like peace, for example. But then day to day, you might be like, oh, I just really need to feel a bit of courage today. Do you see what I'm getting at? So I think it's okay to have one. It's okay to move between them. And I think it's different for each person. Because some people are I must focus only on that. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I believe, I believe it's fine to move between different ones.
So the point would be continuation of this feeling of upliftedness, and you pick your own grounds for being uplifted.
Yeah, that's right. And because it is all uplifting. Like the flow of energy once above integrity is upward. It's an expansion. The fields of force is downward. At the same time, they're not wrong. They're just stages of development and potentially things that need to be let go of in order to continue rising. So even like as one becomes more loving, you may notice days where you just feel really angry so that you can let it go to continue up on that loving pathway. So it's not wrong per se to feel lower vibrational fields. It's just that we maintain the course. Does that make sense, Niksha?
Yes, it makes sense.
Perfect. I didn't really expect to go into these whole fields of consciousness. Yes, I was interested in spirituality, but I didn't know how deeply they were linked to internal power, to the actual power generated from Kung Fu. In trying, and because one of the main kind of lessons my master gave me was Sai Yong Lek and Fong Song. So they were like two things he used to always say. Sai Yong Lek means no need to use force. Fong Song means relax, let go. So in trying to stop using force and trying to let go and really trying to understand what that means, deeper and deeper layers of things to be let go of, to be released, layers of force on a psychological and an emotional level came up to be let go of. And the deeper I can let go, the deeper I can release, the deeper anyone can release, the more power is generated. Because the level of consciousness, the actual level of power increases, that which is the foundation of one's expression. So yeah, the martial journey really unveiled this truth, the truth of consciousness itself and the ability to generate power from that. Fascinating stuff. All right, what other questions or observations do we have, team? This sun is reminding me of the warmth and light within. You get it?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, reminds me is a good thing is a good kind of transitional statement as opposed to makes me. Then you claim authority of your internal world because the kingdom of heavens is within. So you remember. I had another chat yesterday with another guy who came in. He wanted to start training because he was feeling a bit stuck. So this is a different guy, not the grandson guy. And he said, I feel like I'm playing a video game and I'm on this level and I just keep going in circles and I can't break through. And then when I asked him, okay, what are your goals? He said, I want to make this much money and I want to have good family relationships and I want to reach my potential because when I do that, I think I'll feel happy. So, of course I listen and empathize and understand, but, if you're able to speak plainly and you want to truly help someone, you have to help them realize that nothing will make them happy. When he gets the job or the money or the friendships and the relationships, sure, they will bring a sense of satisfaction, but his inner condition is based on him, meaning we can all feel happy right now via our point of focus within ourselves, not by a job making us happy, right? Because then you're chasing, right? The kingdom of heavens is within. It's inside you. It's inside us. It's our nature. The spiritual intention is what's reminding you of that, reminding you of your uplifted level of consciousness and your spirit self. Make sense? Yeah. Yeah. Because if it was money or a relationship or the fulfillment of our potential that makes us happy, then you're just never going to get there. Or when you lose the relationship or you lose the money, you're going to lose the happiness as well. So it's actually a game that you can never win. And it's funny that we're sold that story because we all buy into it. Everyone I speak to says, yeah, when I get this thing, I know I'll feel better. It's like, well, actually, you can feel better now. And the funny thing is that when you start to focus on that and when you start to feel good within yourself, A, you don't really give a fuck about the thing that you think you gave a fuck about. And then B, it tends to come to you easier anyway because you have no resistance around it. It's hilarious. You stop trying to force things. It's like, you know, you really like that girl or boy and you're thinking about them, you're texting them and they're not replying. And no matter how much you try, they never get back to you. And then when you give up and you let go, they text you. All of a sudden you've removed all the force and naturally power radiates from you because you are power. Yes, Michael, you have something, sir?
Yeah. So you're at a experience in tuning in the other day when we had our meditations. Made a post about it. It was kind of made me feel well, crazy at first, actually.
So you can you speak up? It's hard to hear, but I heard you said you did a meditation and you felt a bit crazy afterwards. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. So tuning in, noticed a couple things when we were all together last live, and there were these things that kind of came to mind, and then evidently went to yours, or maybe downloaded it from you, but as it came to mind, it unfolded just afterwards. How does that work?
So
Like
something you meditated on happened after the meditation. Is that what you're saying?
Like when we were doing spiritual intentions and such, you know, you typically switch it up a little bit on the verbiages sometimes, and like it was literally right in line with what I was trying to tune in right then and there already. And then adding the fifth movement with the hand coming back and adding the fifth one there compared to 3 or 4, that came into my mind as a question. Are we going to do an extra one today? And we did.
Gotcha. I understand. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, we're all one, full stop. Everything's connected. It's not hard. You know, that's an easy answer. Everything's connected. So often, you know, you get a feeling sometimes or a thought and then it just happens. Everything's literally connected. I think they proved it with quantum physics, right? The field or some shit like that. So,
No idea.
yeah, I mean, it happens all the time. You know, if you start to pay attention, synchronicity.
I have synchronicity here all the time.
Yeah. What I've noticed, the more alignment in alignment I am, the more synchronicities appear. And you start to notice them and see them. And like, since I was younger, I had so many coincidences and synchronicities that I'd always talk to people about them. And they used to just say, oh man, people used to think, oh, you're just making them up, right? But then people would be involved in the synchronicities. And they go, wow, you can't really deny them when they happen that often, you know? So,
I don't know what that feels like.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're deeply connected to everything. Like, we are a part of everything. So it's like, it's not a shock when these things start to happen consistently. It's kind of nice too. Like, and oftentimes people will start training and they'll say, it's scary the amount of coincidences. I think about a person and they walk past me. I thought about getting this job and I got it. Like, all these just dialed in hard. So you start to realize that we are really creating our reality from within. Meaning, the way we vibrate within ourselves is a direct reflection of what's outside of you. You know, if you want to know how you vibrate inside, just look around your life. Simple as that. What are your relationships like? What do you do throughout your day? What's your job like? Like, that's what you vibrate at, you know? And then if you want to shift the things around you, shift the vibration internally. Simple as that. Meaning your mental and emotional vibration, which is what we're working on. We're working on aligning our spirit with our mind and our emotional body so that we naturally move to our potential. So yeah, the inner reflects the outer. Even though we're often told that you want to force and change the external world in order to make you feel happy, it just doesn't work that way. Good.